What's up, guys? We got a special guest today.
Me.
Keto Savage.
What's happening?
You guys may not know him, but he's explaining about yourself a little bit.
So I'm a lifetime competitive natural bodybuilder that recently got my pro card following a ketogenic protocol. And now I'm a coach, I'm a speaker. My own brand and website is Keto Savage, ketosavage.com, and this is what I do now, hanging out with cool people like this.
And he's actually here working on an awesome course. You guys may have seen our vlogs that we've been doing. We're in like week 5 or 6 right now of the cut. So he's the one we're working with for the cut. He's kind of our coach, controlling our macros and stuff. So
making them starve, all that good stuff.
if you guys have more advanced like body recomposition type questions for Robert,
Shoot them our way.
shoot them our way.
And then also, our super chat donations are going to be going to Paws Philadelphia. Paws is Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing Paws in Philly is because that's where we got our Princess Miley.
She really changed our life. She's the best thing that's ever happened to us. I think there's Paws in every city though.
Well,
right?
it would be not Paws though, because Philadelphia Animal.
Oh, well, there's Paws Atlanta. But yeah, we're doing the Philadelphia one.
Oh, yeah.
What up, you savages?
Hey, Keto Savage.
Savages.
How soon before the course is ready? Oh, guys, in the description of this video, if you want to get updates on that, you can sign up to get updates. It's going to be like 2 months or so. We filmed all of the basic course stuff now, but
And we're finishing the course.
we're still finishing it, yeah.
Yeah, we still have 2
actually
months
taking it.
of time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be so incredible, guys. I can't wait to get it to you. What was the rice pudding thing Matt was eating?
You'll find out.
What?
Or do we want to give it away?
Yeah, it was using Miracle Rice.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to the thing I had when I was doing the 4K challenge, just mixing Miracle Rice and some almond butter and stuff.
Do you miss potatoes and corn? No.
Mm-mm. Always best to cut fat before trying to put on muscle. No best way to combo.
Cut fat before putting on muscle?
Yeah, like should you recomposition?
Oh, yeah. So I've talked about this before. Basically, I always recommend having like a primary goal instead of 2 secondary goals. So you're going to be better off if you make, cutting fat your primary goal, and then once you have like a leaner composition, a better starting point, then you can focus on building muscle, or vice versa. Like don't try and do both at the same time, or else both will kind of suffer.
Yeah, do you have a specific, like say someone's at 30% body fat, do you have a specific, like what do you want them to cut down to before they start bulking, for example?
So like for me, my ideal off-season percentage is like between 8 being on the low end and like 12, 14 on the upper end. Like at 12 to 14% body fat, you can put on any necessary body, gains, any muscle you want. I mean, there's no really benefit. There's a point of diminishing returns if you go beyond that.
This is a good one. Will not eating enough calories cause a stall or gain? And this is honestly a lot of what we've been learning with Robert is it's not as much about like where your total calories are at. It's more about how much different it is than what you were previously doing. So like if you're at 1,000 calories and you're not losing weight, you have to build up your calorie intake before you start cutting it down. And that's what we go into in the course kind of. It's mainly just about like slow changes over time.
Mm-hmm.
Carla, thank you so much for your donation. You guys are awesome. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Just starting tomorrow, biggest number 1 tip.
Starting keto tomorrow?
Yeah, starting keto.
We get this a lot.
Cut the carbs and then boost the electrolytes. I guess that'd probably be my number 1.
I would say just take it one day at a time. Like focus on doing well tomorrow, not like, trying to just be perfect all the time.
As much as you can put it in like a long-term context is going to be better. If you're looking for quick results, because you're going to get quick results is the thing. When you start keto, you're probably going to lose a lot of water weight right away. Mm-hmm. You can't get discouraged when that stops.
Are you carnivore, Robert?
I'm not carnivore, but I gravitate towards eating more meat and fats than vegetation. Like, if I get a craving for, spinach, sauteed spinach with like, bacon grease or something like that, I'll eat it. Like, I don't have to be like 0 vegetation. But I'm not eating like a huge salad every night by any means.
There was a good one. Oh, can you talk about gaining weight on keto?
For muscle, I'm assuming?
No, I think just generally like gaining fat gain on keto.
Okay, so like some people are under the impression that you can't gain weight on keto. You can definitely gain weight on keto. Like you did the 4,000 calorie
I
challenge.
gained about 8 pounds.
You gained 8 pounds. Like, I've noticed that there's a lag effect with keto, so you might be able to get away with more calories in surplus longer without adverse effects than you could with like carbs per se. But I mean, at some point, things are going to catch up with you, and you can't eat 10,000 calories a day and expect to not put on body fat. Like, it can happen. It will happen.
I haven't tried Zevia, but been drinking Virgil Zero once a day. Is that okay keto-wise? My goal is definitely weight loss.
Virgil is stevia.
Virgil is stevia. Yeah, my opinion on this, Robert can give his in a minute. I consume a lot of stevia on a daily basis, and I have been throughout the duration of this cut. But like maybe something to keep in mind is the real cool thing about doing this cut I'm learning is that if you are controlling for so many factors, when you start adding in a stevia drink every single day, you'll really quickly know if it's affecting you or not. Mm-hmm. But when you do drastic things like you cut 700 calories and you start doing 60 minutes of cardio a day and you start adding in Zevia, you don't really know what's doing what. Yeah. So I personally have like a lot of stevia on a daily basis and it hasn't impacted me much. But what's your like general take on artificial sweeteners?
I mean, I found that even if artificial sweeteners don't impact your glucose or insulin levels or ketone levels, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not impacting like your hunger and everything else, for instance. So I try to steer away from them, since I've been keto for as long as I have, I don't even crave those sweet things anymore. Like, I've kind of gone past that craving sensation. If I'm going to do a sweetener, I'll do like erythritol or stevia, and then I'll like incrementally increase it like Matt was saying. I wouldn't just pour it all in at once with a whole bunch of other variables. You have to kind of limit what you're changing at any given time so that you can see how that's affecting you specifically.
Wake up.
Someone said wake up?
No, I did.
Somebody said I should do a podcast. I don't know if they're talking about me or y'all, but
with Darth Luigi.
I've got one. I've already recorded it. I'm going to probably be editing that tonight, so it's going to be going live soon.
And I wouldn't even say he slightly disagrees. I would say he massively disagrees with the fat-protein ratio.
I've been keto for a week, haven't seen much difference on the scales at normal. Well, there's a couple of things that come into play. Have you already been like doing somewhat of a low carb diet before starting keto? And if you don't have a lot of weight to lose, like I didn't see much change in the scale in the first week either. So yeah, you're not like a lot of people, if they have a lot of weight to lose, they drop a ton of water weight at first. But yeah, it's normal if you don't.
Shout out to Genio. He started at 396 and is now down to 210. That's almost 200 pounds. That's with great. Your help. He's a huge fan. That's amazing.
It is awesome.
Lisa P.
Thank you for the donation.
Whoa,
all the pets will be happy. Love the shirt, Megan. Thank you. It's actually really comfortable. This is our old fabric. We have new fabric now, but it's better. It's like this.
Yeah, it's a little better.
You're gonna wear some Keto Savage gear when I get it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Hey, Farmer Mima. Is it true something about wait 4 to 5 hours between meals so your body can burn fat as fuel? Also, how true is it that snacks are bad for weight loss?
So I don't recommend having several snacks scattered throughout the day. I would advocate 2 larger meals as opposed to 3 or 4 smaller meals. Like right now, they're both doing like pretty much backloading the majority of their calories and having 1 larger meal at night. You're gonna be more satiated in that 1 meal. If you kind of like have several smaller meals and get close to being full, but don't ever really tap into being full, then you're just gonna like be miserable the whole time, basically.
I'm doing carnivore diet.
Well, I wanted to comment on that.
Okay.
For me, it's not as much about like having the 4 to 5 hour fat burning window. It's more about just feeling full and being able to restrict calories.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm doing the carnivore diet now. Will I be able to do the cut program? Absolutely. So the principles set forth in this cut are unlike you've probably ever done or really seen. They're Robert's secret approaches. So I mean, yeah, definitely. Any diet can transition to it.
The funny thing about it is he doesn't think they're like secrets or like things that you guys don't know, but in doing the cut, I was like, no one knows about all this.
Like amazing. I never would have done this in my life.
Tapering macros, basically. It's very crucial.
Yeah. Jennifer, thank you so much for the donation.
$10 go into my lead.
You guys should ask questions if you're going to donate. We'll answer them. It could be like a personal question too.
Food scale for macro tracking, yes or no? Any brand you recommend?
So the first competition I did, I never once weighed a food item. I would just buy prepackaged foods and I would like subdivide the container and calculate it that way. I didn't even know how to use this food scale, but since using one, I can't imagine not having one. I don't really like the one I use though. What do y'all use?
We just got a cheap one
Amazon's
off Amazon.
Choice, yeah.
All of them
Yeah.
have not been great, but
Yeah,
they,
I haven't
they do.
found a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna, for your donation. We're getting big money today.
Big money.
Would love to do a cut, but counting macros is my downfall. Do you have advice for me? Yeah, that's
It's
kind of the
crucial.
stipulation. You're gonna have to count macros for this. But
It's totally worth it though. At the end of the day, you'll feel good about the progress you've made.
it's kind of like, yeah, if you want to approach this as a lifestyle and you just want to eat intuitively, you're gonna get results just doing keto for the most part. But if you really want to put in a little bit more effort and get substantially better results, that's more of what we're going for in this. Like, that's what we're doing right now. Because we ate intuitively on keto for the past 2 years. And, like, body composition hasn't changed dramatically, but in the 5 weeks we've been doing this, pretty big changes.
Big changes.
Just did my first Keto Mojo test after starting keto 6 weeks ago. Does 4.7 ketone, 93 blood glucose sound right? And just generally, what's your opinion on like tracking ketones and testing for ketones?
So, if you were to do this course, for instance, we'll speak in terms of the course, and you follow the macros that are laid out in the course, and you feel great, you'll be in ketosis. Like if you're on ketogenic macros, strict ketogenic macros, and you're performing at optimal levels, then you can know with certainty that you're in a state of ketosis. I use glucose test and ketone test if there's like a specific food that I have in question. I want to see how my body responds to it, or if I'm like trying to do a self-experimentation of some type. But I mean, don't get obsessive with the number. Like I can't really tell the difference between 1.5 millimolar and 2.5 millimolar. So don't get so involved in the number that you lose sight of the big picture.
115 pounds down. Congrats. I like these type of questions, and it's not something I really have tested myself, but it's interesting. Is a triathlon, so a 3-hour endurance workout. What do you think about fueling for that? I talked to Robert about this a couple days ago. He's basically of the opinion just fat for fuel, right?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what degree of adaptation you're in, but if you've been in ketosis for an extended period of time, and for me that's like a year or more with strict keto, your body becomes so efficient at using fat as a fuel source that you don't need to give it those incremental, carb refeeds for fast-acting carbs if you're doing endurance training. Like, I can eat a fat bomb before, like, a 5-hour endurance episode and be better off than, like, some gel or something of that type.
Yeah, I think it could be cool to see more data on people that are deeply fat adapted and then they take the gels on really long exercises. I think some people do that, don't they?
Yeah, that's just
adapted
because they don't
marathon
have Keto Bricks yet, though.
Okay. And then, do you have any guidance on gaining muscle on keto?
Gaining muscle is pretty similar to any other diet in the sense that you have to have enough of a surplus to build muscle. Like you have to give the body the fuel it needs to actually grow and produce more cells, build muscle tissue. But train hard, activate the muscle, stimulate the muscle fibers. Tear those down, rebuild them bigger than they were before, That's pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I've experienced with Robert being here is the training intensity. Like, all there is to it is go to the gym and just go as hard as you can. And
Most people aren't.
Most people aren't. Robert goes substantially harder than you're going right now.
I literally
That's a
cried
guarantee.
on leg day.
She cried, actual tears. Any suggestions for breakfast foods? Eggs, bacon.
Ground beef.
Fatty coffee.
Well,
That's my alarm going off. Hold on 1 second.
will the program include weight training how-tos as well? We're trying to make it as all-encompassing as possible.
We'll have a workout plan, but it's more nutrition based because that's where the primary focus is and usually should be.
But the exact plan that we've been doing for the vlogs you've been seeing, that'll be in there. Husband is also vegetarian, so need to gain muscle on keto.
You can gain muscle while being a vegetarian.
My take on it is kind of like, if I'm a vegetarian, I would just be having a lot of eggs.
Fish, if you eat fish.
Yeah, some people say fish when they're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
What do you think about vegetarian and vegan keto?
I've had a couple clients that are, strict vegetarian, vegan. I've had a podcast episode with Dr. John Lemansky, and he was vegetarian for 3 years or so. And one of the things that he said while I was interviewing that stood out was that a lot of people that are starting the vegetarian or vegan diet, they have a lot of, positive results initially because they're cleaning up all their food sources. But after extended periods of eating that way, they find themselves being deficient in a lot of micronutrients that you could really only get from some of the red meats and whatnot. So I have never tried it, so I can't speak from experience, but that made sense to me.
I think you got something on
No,
that?
go ahead.
I think a general rule is like people think, keto is really a good healthy diet. Vegan is really a good healthy diet. Put them together, it's more healthy. I think it's actually the opposite. I think it's less healthy when you do that.
I've been wanting to do a vegan week. Keto vegan, not vegan. Just for fun.
Yeah.
I think it would really be punishment at the end of the day, but it'd be worth it.
Eric Yam is always dropping vegan propaganda on every single one of our videos. I look forward to his comments though. He's in the chat right now.
Will the program work well for non-competition prep people who just want to get through a stall and get more fit? Guys, I am the opposite of competition anything. Like, I'm competitive mentally, but physically I don't stand a chance. So if I can do it, and you'll see my progress pictures. We're putting out new ones on Tuesday in our vlog, and at the end of the 3 months you'll see them. I mean, yeah, it's for everyone, I would say, right?
It's for, the best way to describe it is if you want to put in a little bit of extra work and get substantially better
With
results.
guidance.
It's not if you want to just do a lazy form of keto.
Yeah.
Like, no real tracking or anything.
Yeah, like my clients, like everything that I'm using with my clients, of course they get like day-to-day interaction with me, so it's a little bit different, but the same principles apply. And not all of my clients are competitors by any means. I've got clients that need to lose 100 pounds just to be healthy, and they're seeing awesome results with it.
Do we still have bulletproof coffee on the cut? I feel like
Absolutely.
bulletproof hot chocolate is a lot of my cut calories. It is a lot of calories, but I find that
Taper it.
you don't have to have it. Just experiment with that and see what works best for you. But I actually find that having a couple bulletproof coffees in the morning and pushing off my first food meal is beneficial to calorie restriction in general. That's what we've been doing.
Doing 4 isolations every workout. I don't even know what that means.
What was the
4
question?
isolation exercises, like not doing compound lifts, basically.
We did this week.
Yeah, we did squats. We did like a 13 sets of squats one day.
Yeah, it was good. Y'all still sore?
I'm sore.
Is Eric Yam even jacked?
Yeah, Eric Yam, post pics.
Yeah, let's see what's going on there.
Slim Land. If you guys don't know about him, he has a keto YouTube channel too. You can check out.
Oh, he does? He comments a lot.
Yeah, thoughts on exogenous ketones spiking insulin. I don't see any mechanism by which that would happen.
Yeah, I don't know, unless
We-
maybe the sweeteners in there.
We've
But
taken them, right? And had no issues?
No. I guess it's hard to pick up on if they're spiking insulin because your glucose is probably going to drop, your ketones are going to increase. So if it is, it's
That's
like
true.
masking it.
yeah, exactly.
$10 if you block Eric Yam.
He adds so much life to the channel. I don't like blocking people.
Who's Eric Yam?
He's
Yeah,
a
vegan.
vegan who always posts on our videos.
What's your opinion on heavy cream sweetener and coffee during fasting time? For technical fasting, like to get the benefits, you would want to not do anything. But we do like fat fasting before a workout, and it works well.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it fasting though. Gaining mass on keto, is it mostly training intensity?
I mean, it's everything. I don't ever like dealing in absolutes. There's not like any one thing you can pick out and say, is this the magic pill? Like everything, together is symbiotic in nature, and it takes everything. You have to have the nutrition, you have to have the training, you have to put in the work. I mean, it's all inclusive.
And if you guys are just joining, the Super Chat donations are going to Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society. That's where we adopted Miley from. And then the first link in the description of this video is going to be to get updates on the progress of this course we're creating with Keto Savage. Thoughts on how ketosis elevates cortisol? This is from Eric Yam.
I don't find that
So we
ketosis
don't answer
elevates
it?
cortisol.
Yeah. I'm having trouble maintaining my weight. I'm keto and having gone below my target weight. Any tips? I mean,
That's just calories.
Increase your macros. How to donate? And there's a $sign next to the smiley face under where you type, but I think some people have said it doesn't work for like
iPhone users,
Yeah.
I just watched your sweetener test, so I know what to use for my Valentine's Day treats. Oh yeah,
Chocolate
Valentine's
bars.
chocolate bars. I was gonna
Or
say make those truffles
Yeah.
for Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is approaching. What are you and Crystal doing?
What is today? The 12th? The 11th?
It's next week, so people will probably push.
Oh,
it to the
Valentine's Day
weekend.
is next week.
Yeah, it's on the 14th, bros.
I've
I
been
say bros.
I've been on keto for 4 months, lost a lot of weight. Yesterday I ate normal pancakes. It was that or starve. How do I get back into
How
ketosis?
were those the options, though?
Those were not the options.
And
You're
you're
lying
not
to
going to
yourself.
starve if you don't eat pancakes. You'll just be fasting a little longer.
And how do I get back to ketosis? See, the question here is not how to get back to ketosis. It's how to actually stick to the keto diet in general.
Because if we give you the answer, then you'll probably just eat pancakes again. And then just...
Oh, we just got two $5. Oh my gosh, they're really flying in
Miguel,
here.
thank you.
Miguel, my smile went from Colgate Smile to I can't believe it's not butter ever since I started keto. Is keto to blame?
Keto is to blame. It ups your mood for sure, wouldn't you say?
No, he's saying that's a bad thing. Like his teeth are getting yellow, I believe.
I can't believe. Oh.
It's probably all the coffee you're drinking if you're drinking a bunch of keto coffee.
What else could be?
It could
is there
be
anything
like
acidic? Are you drinking like apple cider vinegar straight?
Yeah. Use of creatine supplements when on a keto diet and lifting 5 days a week?
I think creatine's good no matter what diet you're on. Creatine's been around forever. There's so much science backing up the use of creatine. It's got benefits from like a muscular standpoint, but also from like a brain cognition and neuron standpoint. So I'm all for it.
How fun has your ongoing keto sleepover been? Yeah, he's sleeping on an air mattress over there. It's been 7 days now, I think.
It took some adjusting to get used to the air mattress, but I'm getting the hang of it, I think.
But thank you, Alan and Avery, for your donations as well.
Tips on maintaining muscle mass while losing weight.
Lift as heavy as you can. A lot of people want to, be at a caloric deficit and then start lifting lighter weights for more reps. But when you do that, you're basically sending a signal to your brain and your body that, okay, I'm at a caloric deficit, calories are low, what can I pull from to maintain bodily function? And oftentimes that's the muscle. But if you train heavy and continue to train heavy, you're going to stimulate that growth and you're going to send that signal saying, okay, we still need this muscle, so let's not catabolize that for fuel.
This is actually a good question by Eric M, and I don't know the answer to it. Without sufficient glycogen in the muscles, creatine doesn't make sense.
They've said that without carbs I wouldn't be able to have glycogen in the muscles, but I haven't had a problem. So, speaking from experience there.
I also think creatine makes sense just from a nootropic standpoint too. It's not just like a muscle thing; it also has some mental benefits.
And isn't our body producing glycogen even without it being supplied it?
Yeah, your body's going to produce as much glycogen as you need. There's no reason to need to take in carbs, through consumption of food.
To stimulate the creatine.
Yeah.
No coffee, no acidic foods. Miguel, $2 donation. What's going on with the teeth? Is there anything you've recently added in, like in excess? I can't really think. Yeah, it's maybe like just the bulletproof coffee. I guess you said you're not doing that. So, yeah, I really can't say.
That's something I'd be willing to look into. I'm sure it's been, maybe, have you done any research on it? Maybe read it? A lot of people talk about their symptoms.
Eric Yamgap's hardcore, man.
Yes, he is.
Because you're breaking down proteins and converting fatty acids into glucose. So if I'm breaking down proteins, I'm still PRing on all my lifts on a regular basis, and my measurements are improving, so I'm doing a pretty good job at it, I guess.
How do you feel about L-carnitine? I feel like it helps me as a mental boost, more of a nootropic effect. I don't really notice the fat mobilization that it's supposed to do.
I don't think you would notice that, though.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to really notice those
types of things. But for me, it's a mood booster as well.
Do you notice any benefit from L-carnitine?
I took it, in my contest prep, but it wasn't like a noticeable difference. Like I took it because I wanted to hedge my bets, but there was nothing tangible that I could gain from it.
How much do you take? For the nootropic effect, I take like 300 to 500 milligrams, which is really low. For the fat mobilization type of stuff, I think 3,000 is more like what you're supposed to take, right?
For what?
For L-carnitine.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember what I was taking. I was just taking like a liquid. It was like a tablespoon or something, whatever was in it.
Wait, so are y'all offering coaching similar to Keto Savages in the future?
We are not offering coaching.
If you want we're not coaches. If you want coaching, definitely check out Keto Savage. He's really opened our eyes to what coaching even is.
But we're creating a course that simulates coaching without the whole coaching aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It still won't be as good as one-on-one coaching, of course. You can never really replicate that.
Oh, you've talked about this, I think. De novo lipogenesis has 20% energy cost.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're losing weight, that's a benefit, right? Because inefficiency is a pro to weight loss. So that's why, you might not feel as good. That's why, like, when you're doing a lot of gluconeogenesis, when you're doing higher protein, you don't feel as good. But as far as it's super hard to store protein as fat, you may see better weight loss in the short term. Thanks for the keto bread recipe.
There's a cool question here. It seems sad that we have so little research done for the poor folk like me, over 50, trying to get their health back via keto and the carnivorous diet. That's the cool thing about the time they're in right now. Like, keto's been around forever, but like as mainstream as it is right now, this is pretty new. So it'll be cool. We're all kind of like guinea pigs on the cutting edge. It'll be cool to see what our health is like in 30 years, staying on the keto diet.
What do you do for electrolytes?
Zip Fizz or Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder for potassium, pink salt for sodium, and then just like I just go to like a Walgreens and get like a cheap magnesium citrate or something, honestly.
Just made your macro cakes. Amazing. Glad you like them. We've been making those into muffins lately to have them for meal prep.
Been keto for a year, lost 30 pounds, but it jumps and whooshes. How much is the most you've lost and gained overnight? So any water weight gain, probably like 2-3 pounds of water weight overnight.
Yeah.
Lost, same.
I had 8 pounds of water weight overnight when I was in contest prep. That was a mistake. I miscalculated my sodium.
Can you recommend any keto-friendly chocolates? Mega has some favorites, don't you?
Yeah, Coco Polo is my favorite. And then I think
Lily's.
that's it. Well, the nutritionally best is Coco Polo.
Yeah.
But Lily's is a good option for like baking.
You could get all of those electrolytes in plants. Does age affect keto?
Does
Yeah.
keto...
I mean, age affects everything. Age affects how your body responds to.
You saw
to
Mad
things.
Jump last week.
Yeah,
Couldn't.
that's true. Chalk Zero is also good. They throw a lot of fiber in there. I don't like it
Yeah.
quite as much.
I agree. Not the best.
I always worry about Lily's. It's hard to eat a single serving.
It is.
That's kind of the game you run with any of these keto baked goods and chocolates and stuff. It's good to... No Foods has some chocolate chips made with allulose. That's not true. They actually lied to their customers and put sugar in the chocolate chips.
You know what's interesting though too? Keto Crate released a statement and said that they stand behind the allulose chocolate chip
That's
cookies.
crazy because
I
they're
know.
not allulose. They
know.
actually released the supplier that they get those chocolate chips from, and it's actual cane sugar. It's like 16 grams per cookie.
Yeah. So it's not good.
Yeah.
Don't eat them.
Real deceptive practices going on here. It's not good.
Have you tried Keto Geeks pods yet? I'm actually afraid I'll eat all of them.
They're too good.
All of
You
them?
will.
They are really good.
Too good.
They're just like chocolate cake icing.
Keto doesn't produce any greater fat loss than a high carb vegan diet. I agree if you control for calories.
Most people don't.
And not everyone agrees with that, but I think, yeah, that's probably true. The thing is, it's substantially easier to calorie restrict.
With a keto diet.
BCAAs don't do anything if you eat adequate whole proteins. I tend to agree with that. What are your thoughts on BCAA supplementation?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still up for debate. Like I use them again when I'm in a contest prep just to kind of hedge my bets, cover my bases. But like I don't use them at all in the off season. Like I think I'm eating enough of a surplus to not really need it. So yeah, I don't think it's mandatory by any means.
No carbs, but has maltodextrin in it. Should I stay away?
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
No, we eat stuff like that all the
I
time.
thought you were talking about chocolate in particular for some reason.
No, if there's maltodextrin on the ingredients and it's 0 carbs, then the chances are it's just like 0.3, 0.4 grams of carbs per serving. So like a lot of sausages you get will have dextrose, but it's 0 carb. So we eat those things. Do you eat higher protein while trying to gain muscle mass? No, you don't.
Not significantly higher.
Do you need to eat any higher protein ratio when you're in like a bulking?
I did an experiment with Danny Vega that I put on my YouTube channel. So we basically broke it up into 3 months. The first month was significantly higher protein. The second was higher fat. And then the third was a mix. And I got like an in-body done. Of course, in-body's not the most accurate way to test. But of all 3 months, I felt the best with the higher fat ratio. I felt the most bloated with the higher protein. Like I felt like I was more powerful, like I was stronger. But according to the in-body test, I didn't really put on any substantial muscle. But yeah, I'm going to go based off of how I feel. And like right now, my sweet spot's between 78 and 80% fat. And I've hit some of my best numbers in the past month. So I'm going to stick with that ratio.
What are your macros, Robert?
Currently, I'm kind of like I'm in a surplus still, but I'm kind of like cycling my surplus as opposed to just always staying consistently high. So right now I'm at 125 protein, 245 or 250 fat, and then 10 to 20 total carbs.
Is Coke Zero really safe on keto? I hear conflicting opinions.
It's not unsafe.
In my opinion, it's almost going to be safe for everyone. I think there is some people that have like adverse reactions to the specific sweeteners. But as far as like knocking you out of ketosis, I don't think that happens all that much. But you don't like recommend people drink it, obviously. Obviously, Coke's like you're way better off drinking Zevia or things that are sweetened with stevia. The dextrose causes cravings. It doesn't if it's like 0.2 grams in a sausage. But yeah, I don't like to eat. Like, for example, Splenda, I think, has maltodextrin in it. I try to stay away from those type of things. Good keto food choices for healing after shoulder surgery. The easier, the better. You could try meal prepping,
Yeah.
but I guess...
Like breakfast casseroles with some broccoli, some sausage, some eggs.
Somebody asked, is ice sparkling water keto friendly? And I've drank the ice sparkling water and I've drank the Propel, and they're keto friendly, but I noticed that they both cause a lot of water retention. I think they're sweetened with either sucralose or acesulfame potassium, but both of those, at least for me, cause me to retain more water. It doesn't really digest the system quickly.
I'm 6'4". If my carbs are low as 30 grams and my fat and protein are about the same, would this stall my weight loss? I still have problems adding sufficient fat.
I would increase the fat and decrease the protein.
Yeah, why do you have problems adding sufficient fat? Maybe like planning more ahead of time to make sure you get your fat in is helpful?
What's more important, macros per meal or total per day on keto? Thank you. We have a lot of, Robert's kind of giving us the guidance of more grams of fat per protein per meal, but what really matters, I think, is your daily macros.
Yeah. A lot of people worry about having too much protein in a given meal, but I mean, I have upwards of 100 grams of protein in some of my meals, but when you're having enough fat to slow the digestion of the protein, it's not near as critical.
Just had my appendix removed. Does this affect moving forward with keto? We're not doctors, so but I don't have an appendix. And
Oh, you don't?
No, the appendix is like useless, isn't it? It's removed. It could be removed.
Oh. Some people say MCT oil can help you get back into ketosis, but I've never tried it. I can't stand the stuff. I don't think it helps you get back into ketosis. It's just like the fastest converted fat to ketones. So, like when I drink a bulletproof coffee with MCT oil in it and I test my ketones an hour later, they're going to be substantially higher. But that doesn't mean it's good at getting you back into ketosis faster. Best keto meal replacement shake.
The one we are about to make and put out for you guys.
We have a recipe coming soon for a meal replacement.
So you can buy all the ingredients in bulk.
Atkins and talking about Atkins and keto. If you're trying to drop weight, is getting fat in really important, or will you just mobilize body fat? Robert has a strong opinion on this.
All right. So basically, a lot of people they have a lot of fat to lose, they kind of want to go by the argument of, if you have a bunch of stored body fat, don't ingest much dietary fat so that you can tap into that stored fat. However, my take on that is, especially if you haven't started the ketogenic diet yet, you're not fat adapted, I like to start at 80% fat ratio as a baseline. Give your body all the fat that it needs and kind of train it to use fat efficiently so it's able to tap into your stored body fat. If you just go straight into a lower fat ratio, there's body fat stored there, but it takes a little while for your body to figure out how to use it. So I just assume start with a high ratio, train it correctly, and then let it mobilize.
Yeah, even above and beyond that, I think you just feel better, which makes the diet more sustainable when you're at a little bit higher fat. Talking about the difference between Atkins and keto, Atkins is just basically higher protein. Keto is higher fat. I don't know what the recommendation on Atkins is for fat, but it's not that high, right?
Except the induction phase it's pretty much keto, and then you transition to higher protein. Thoughts on fat water by Bulletproof, and this is probably...
It sounds so dumb.
Yeah, this is not the best question to address, but I want
Fat
to
water?
talk about fat water. Like,
Fat
what
water.
is that? And I hate the entire concept.
It's pure marketing.
What is fat water?
Bulletproof, that makes me so mad that that's a thing.
It's water that has like grams of fat in it somehow.
Ew, really?
I don't know. I
Like
think
just
it
free
is.
floating fats.
A
Yeah.
little bacon grease in there, you know.
Oh,
It sounds dumb. It sounds like just a way to jam more calories in as opposed to,
it sounds
Not
like the
doing-
perfect product for like 40-year-old moms.
One thing about Dave Asprey is he can really sell stuff, man. He has it down to a
But
science.
did he really he's come up with some great things and very
Yeah.
smart, right? His blog is great. But fat water, he was like, yeah, I'm behind that 100%. Like, you're a smart guy. Why are you selling that?
The fat content in the waters is not very high. Okay, that makes sense. Best creatine brand, pill or powder form? I think powder.
Yeah, I've been using that bulk supplements brand. It's like the cheapest, cleanest that I've found. It's just cheap. You get on Amazon.
Is it better to do less than 50 grams of total carbs, less than 20 grams of net carbs? Wouldn't the math equal out either way? Yeah, it would about equal out most of the time, but Robert actually recommends lower than that, and that's what we've been doing lately. We've been doing 10 total carbs.
Yeah.
But maybe like 20 total carbs, just a little bit lower than both of those things is a good metric to start at.
Yeah, like I'm at 10 or 20 total carbs now. They're at 10 total carbs.
Nothing wrong with 40-year-old moms. I'm just thinking about my mom, and she was just a sucker for things like that.
Is over 50 total carbs a day a killer for keto? I think you're just not going to feel as good.
Yeah, like what's the goal? Is the goal to simply have ketogenic numbers when you test for your beta hydroxybutyrate in your blood, or do you want to truly get keto adapted and fat adapted
And feel amazing.
and feel amazing, and I feel significantly better at 20 grams total carbs more so than 50 grams total carbs.
Oh, apparently No Foods made their own chocolate chips now. That's good.
You
but
think they'd be like
they still,
really, how, like, you think they'd be talking about that, right?
You would. I mean, once they lie to me for like months,
I'm
that's
good.
a wrap for me, guys. Like,
Yeah.
See ya.
Crystal's at home, by the way. I'm gonna go see her soon.
Yay, Kristen, thank you so much. 45 days strict keto, 80% fat ratio has worked wonders for me. 17 pounds down, have felt great mentally. Thank you for the inspiration.
Yeah, guys. I think
80%.
so. I've been talking about this with Robert a lot. The 2 years we've had this YouTube channel, we've been doing a lot of experiments. We did carb ups. We did like all these high protein things, all these different things. And I'm finally realizing that a lot of the problem, like the feeling of needing carb ups, was mainly just stemmed from not fully committing all the way, like not doing high enough fat and not doing low enough carb, just going one level deeper than maybe you think you need to go. I feel a lot better doing that. Any discounts for Keto Mojo? I don't know.
I think I have a link
Oh,
on my
we do.
website, but I don't even know if there is a discount. There's a link. There's a link on my website to it.
I don't know ours either.
Any thoughts on 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, water fasting, in addition to the keto diet?
Wait, what was the question? I was reading.
1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, or water fasting?
I've never done water fasting. I do fat fasting with like one big meal a day. I'm doing like 2 big meals a day now because I have enough calories. But like when my calories drop, I do 1 meal a day.
Yeah, I don't really like doing any of those things all that much. What we've been doing lately is drinking our calories in the morning in the form of fat and then eating our first meal at like around 1. So kind of intermittent fasting, but with bulletproof coffees in the morning. But I think if you're trying to repair like insulin resistance, then intermittent fasting can help with that a lot.
Keto is not sustainable, they say.
This is Eric Unum. I've stopped reading Eric Unum's
We're
comments.
just giving him too much publicity at this
Yeah.
point.
What's the average monthly weight loss numbers you see with clients after adaptation?
That's a good question.
It all depends, and honestly, I mean, there's so many variables at play. Like, how long they've been on the diet, what degree of adaptation they're in. There's a lot of difference between male and female. On average, the men seem to have a much more linear progression in weight loss, whereas the women seem to be much more. There's a lot more fluctuation. But yeah, it's just the process, the progression over time. But I mean, it could be anywhere from. I've had clients that have lost over 100 pounds in. I think the record I've had was 100 pounds down in 4 months, maybe 5 months. I
That's
think.
incredible.
Yeah.
Any plans for keto merge? We have some on Teespring. We have keto normie shirts and keto connect shirts and mugs. You put the mugs back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate hearing about weight loss. Let's talk about fat loss and DEXA scans.
Someone said that, or you're
That's
saying
right.
that?
No, someone said that.
Oh.
That is a very good point. There's a lot more to it than weight loss.
Third week on keto, honestly, I lost my appetite for the most part. Any suggestions in ways to get the fat intake? So if you're like really having trouble, the best tips I would say is just bulletproof coffee, fat bombs, having veggies with like butter so it absorbs.
They're transporters.
Just like adding a lot of butter to stuff.
What is you guys go to for breaking through a stall? Or what do we go to for breaking through a stall? Right now I'm at a stall, but I'm also doing a specific program, so I'm kind of just trusting the process and pushing through, like, you know, staying consistent with my macros, getting my workout in, hydrating, and having like a good mindset. Don't stress yourself out about it, just kind of push through.
Are you tracking stuff? Because when you're at a stall and you've been tracking, then you have like a baseline you can adjust from. So like if you don't know what your calorie intake is and what your fat intake is on a daily basis, it's kind of hard to say. So you probably just drop those down slightly.
Yeah, and I mean, who's to say it's a stall? Like, is it a stall just in weight alone? Because I mean, you might be building muscle at a similar rate to what you're burning fat, so the scale's not going to change that much, but you're certainly not stalling.
Do you take any probiotics while on keto? No, because we don't really intake any fiber, veggies.
What diet would you prescribe to kids? I'm not a doctor. I don't like giving directions to kids.
Yeah, that is an interesting topic, but I have had a lot of people with kids that have tried doing keto with the kids, and a lot of the stuff that was thought wouldn't work is working well for them, so.
I have no idea what a fat bomb is. Can you please explain? So Mega makes these like almost every day. She melts down like a tablespoon of coconut oil, a tablespoon of butter.
Sweetener.
She puts a little stevia, and then I really like the ones with pumpkin pie spice, but she also does cocoa powder. You can do cinnamon. And then you basically just have a 250 calorie pure fat thing that you can add into a meal or just have as dessert.
How many Zip Fizzes a day? So one Zip Fizz is 950 milligrams of potassium. And basically, there's a lot of confusion with electrolytes, but there's an equilibrium point between your water, your sodium, potassium. And your body can kind of reset that equilibrium point. So if everything increases, it can reset at that higher level. If everything decreases to a point, it can reset at that level. I don't recommend having more than is necessary. So me personally, I recommend a baseline of about 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of sodium, and then about 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of potassium, and then kind of figuring out how that makes you feel, and then adjusting from there.
Keto cotton candy. I feel like that's just one of the foods you don't need to make keto friendly. It's just like pure sugar. But is it even possible? I don't know if erythritol reacts like that.
Someone made our mousse today. I love the people who make our recipes
Mousse.
the day they come out. It makes me so happy.
Oh yeah, do you guys like that kind of video? We're going to be doing more of those. It's the Dessert Every Night series.
We didn't say it in the video though.
I know.
You keep just trying to sell it.
Well, I put the hashtag in the title.
And I put it in the blog post.
Okay, good. Can you repeat your thoughts on probiotic? I think probiotic and prebiotics matter more if you have a lot of fiber.
I've also gone all my life without them.
Yeah. I honestly think it's like a lot of marketing. There's some science behind it, but we don't know a lot about the gut microbiome, so, we'll sell you stuff in the meantime. If you know, like, you can just take it for a month and see what you notice. That's a great way to see if it's benefiting you.
Jasmine, thank you. My husband and I recently started keto again. I've been checking out your website for recipes. Cauliflower fried rice is bomb, and I've been listening to your podcast. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
you.
That's actually the first video we ever made, cauliflower fried rice.
I really take pride in our podcast. One, because I'm editing it. But two, Matt really shines and asks amazing questions. And so when I'm listening, I'm like, I wish I could speak like this.
Oh.
You guys should arm wrestle. Oh, I thought you were talking about them two, and they said my money is on Mega. They should arm wrestle. Guys, arm wrestle.
No.
Why?
Megan and I arm wrestled yesterday, and she beat me.
Almost, yeah.
Can you start building muscle without a calorie surplus?
There's a lot of science coming out on that. It's weird. It's amazing how much is not known with certainty with regard to building muscle. It's almost comical. But when I'm doing a competition prep, I'm definitely at a deficit. But my PRs have increased throughout the majority of my contest prep. So that leads me to believe, if my strength's improving, I'm able to have more endurance, more strength while training. At a deficit, you can. However, kind of the same concept what we were talking about earlier about having one primary goal and one secondary goal. Any strength gain received while at a deficit is just kind of a bonus. Don't plan on it.
Yeah, especially if you're a beginner, right? You can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. Yeah,
and see, I've been weight training for 8 to 10 years now. So any incremental gain I see is a lot more. It's not near as significant as something that's pretty new into it.
Dr. Berg and Thomas DeLauer are teaming up. Are they teaming up? That's a power couple right there. When are you teaming up with either of them? We reached out to both of them. We actually had Dr. Berg on our podcast.
If we were in Virginia, he'd absolutely couple up with us.
Yeah, I think it's just about if we want to get in the car and drive up to Virginia, we could probably make that happen.
Yeah.
It's like I think we looked it up. It's like a 10-hour drive.
Morpheus, thank you.
What happened to Michael Beach? So if you guys
They're
don't
actually
know,
friends.
yeah,
right?
we played some video games together. Michael Beach was on here one day and he was requesting red velvet cake
Everyone.
recipe. And we actually tried it. We just couldn't get it.
It was pretty good. We ate a good amount.
It wasn't great though.
Yeah, it could be better. But he kept asking the same question. Everyone was like, answer Michael Beach's question. Everyone was like very adamant, and we were like, it must be serious. And he was like, can you make red velvet cake?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like how to overcome brain cancer with a keto diet. It was like, make red velvet cake. Someone has a question from Mr. Savage. Do you have recommendations for runners on a keto diet?
I mean, nothing really that would, contrast with what I would have recommendations for with a lifter. Basically you get fat adapted, you use that fat as a fuel source. It's from an endurance perspective, you can store, 400 to 600 grams worth of glycogen as energy if you're eating carbs. If you're eating fat, and that's your primary fuel source, that can be upwards of 40,000 calories worth of fuel. So endurance running, you're going to be able to have a much larger fuel reserve.
When do you plan on having a baby? Will you keep it keto?
So I'm planning on doing a ton of research before that happens. But yeah, I would probably keep it keto. Maybe throw in like some sweet paleo stuff, like maybe go that route. My baby would for sure. I'm just talking out of my butt though. Like, I don't know.
Once it's a reality, I'll like dive into the research.
Yeah, and Matt will also be like ghost pregnant with me. I can't wait to do vlogs when we're pregnant.
Can you tell by looking at someone if they are on steroids?
I wish.
It's really weird. Like, I think that I can sometimes, but then I'll be surprised occasionally. Like, if somebody's like freaking way beyond what's physically possible naturally, then yeah, obviously. But if it's like close, it's hard to tell the differentiating factor. Like when I'm in a contest prep, people think that I'm on steroids because I get really lean, but I've never tried steroids.
See, when I look at you when you're really lean, I'm like, that's clearly a natural bodybuilder because you look skinny. Some of the
thanks, man.
not in a bad way, but you look like, because right now you're like a huge guy. I can tell you're ripped, but when you really cut away all the fat, it's a lot leaner.
You do look a lot smaller. Like with clothes on, it's like, wow, there's nothing special there, and then like you can see all the crevices and everything without the clothes, obviously.
But when you look at like the Mr. Olympia or whatever, it's very
like
clear.
the Mr.
Like,
Olympia. That's like a no-brainer there.
Tips on cutting down on my coffee intake. So I've been doing this. You can start with like black tea or like flavored black chai tea or something that has like 40 to 60 milligrams, and then slowly taper off. Teas have less and less caffeine, and then you can do decaf.
This is a good question. I want to hear Robert's take on it. What do you think of Dr. Berg's 7 to 10 cups of greens a day recommendation and how that pertains to a keto diet?
So I honestly probably have never done 7 to 10 cups consistently for a day, so I may be biased and not have a good baseline to be able to speak from, but like whenever I have a large salad, for instance, which is probably around 7 to 10 cups or multiple large salads in a day, I feel more lethargic. I don't feel optimal. Like I don't feel like I would prefer to feel. So I think it's just kind of noise in the system, so to speak.
What are your thoughts for Robert on weight training for someone with a detached bicep and 2 partially torn tendons in the same wrist as the bicep?
That is going to be tricky.
Yeah, that's not doable.
Yeah, I mean, you got to stimulate the muscle, but at the same time, you don't want to damage the muscle further. So if it hurts, like there's a difference between good hurt and bad hurt. And if it's bad hurt, you don't want to stress it more.
Tips for sore knees. I do heavy weightlifting and the knees have been killing me. So in like my research, I know that box squats can help. So I've done those. And then I know Robert and even his girlfriend, you guys have like knee pads?
Yeah, so I use knee sleeves, like a neoprene knee sleeve. SBD brand is the one I use. And then I also take it one step further and use the knee wraps as well whenever I'm going like heavy on my squats. But those two combined basically keep pressure on the knee joint and also keep it warm so that it's not near as likely to have injury.
Have you ever had issues with bloating on the keto diet? Yeah, so veggies will induce bloating for me, and then also when I've done like a 1 meal a day, just eating a surplus of food, when I'm eating like 1,300 plus calories in a meal, I feel bloated afterwards and uncomfortable.
Light weights, lots of volume for the torn bicep. That's what someone said, not me.
Oh.
Best heavy cream replacement that's dairy free. I would say
Coconut
it's
cream?
coconut cream or coconut milk.
Still don't overdo it.
The canned version. And what I do with those is you put them in the fridge and then you scoop off the cream and you leave the water in there. That's where all the sugar is.
So like 3 people have had that issue. Like it doesn't separate in the fridge. That's weird, right?
Are you getting the Thai Kitchen brand that actually has coconut on the ingredients list, or are you getting like xanthan gum and coconut flavoring?
They've said they got the Thai Kitchen.
That's
but,
weird.
Yeah.
It works
The Thai
every
Kitchen
single time
one
for
to
us.
me is like it's separated at room temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should separate.
Hopefully it's not lagging too much. I'm charging my phone. Best live ever. If only Crystal was there. We're gonna do one of those at some point in the
For
future,
sure.
I think.
Yeah, I miss
Definitely
Kristen.
after we're all done our preps.
Yeah, everybody's prepping but me. I'm gonna be like the fat guy in the background.
Coconut water, good or bad on keto?
Bad.
It's bad. Sugar. It's pure sugar.
How about if I leave the diet for 1 week? Do it. Like, how about what? Right?
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, what's the question? Like, what's gonna happen? You're not gonna feel good. You're gonna. I guess just like base how you feel after doing that. And so most people, the more that they cheat, or if they have a cheat day, the less they want to cheat in the future. It's kind of like when you wake up with a terrible hangover
But you
from
still
drinking.
drink a lot.
Yeah.
Plans for crockpot keto recipes? Yes, we are in the works. We got a bunch already that are really good. We got an amazing cheesecake, like the best cheesecake ever, right?
It
And
is
then
really good.
Indian dish and a Korean dish. Oh my gosh.
Should I try to limit veggies or eat as much as I want? I would say limit. If you're eating as much as you want, you're not going to feel as good. That's my experience. What's your opinion on that? You limit your veggies pretty intensely, right?
Yeah, like I look at veggies pretty much as like a way to get in more fat. Like I don't look at veggies as like something I'm consuming for veggies. I just use it to like saute with other fat sources to consume more fat.
Thoughts on an egg fast? Stalled for a couple weeks. Reading that 5-day egg fast can help hormones for weight loss.
I don't know if that's true.
No. My thoughts are kind of that it's not good to do. It's kind of dumb. Just get your nutrition in check. Are you tracking? And then you can kind of make adjustments from there. So maybe like lower those a little bit. What do you say to people that are just stalled? What's your general recommendation?
Well, if they're like malnourished, stalled, like if their caloric intake was super low to begin with, or if it's super low now, then your body's going to be fighting back like at an unhealthy level. If you start at a caloric, surplus and your metabolism's healthy and you're stalled on the scale, that doesn't necessarily mean you're stalled overall. And weight loss composition change is not like a linear process. Like when I did my competition prep, there'd be weeks where nothing would change and all of a sudden it would drop off, substantially. So just keep pushing through and keep applying that pressure.
Hey Robert, thoughts on Matt yelling at the camera?
Good question.
I actually haven't noticed that. Like I know you say that you do.
Uh-huh.
Do I yell at the camera?
No, you're very
No.
soft-spoken.
I yell the most. Thoughts on eating a zero carb diet with a caloric surplus? Is weight loss still possible? Female. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I don't know.
Caloric surplus at a zero carb diet.
Yeah.
Is weight loss possible?
Yeah, weight loss is possible. I mean, the whole calories concept as a whole, like you got a lot of variables at play. So like, use that as the one that you can manipulate fully and have full control over. So if you're at a surplus, like I said, everything's got like a lag effect with keto. So like, if I was to do the 4,000 calorie challenge now, and probably wouldn't work for me now because my total carbs are low anyways, but let's just hypothetically speaking here, I'm taking in 50 grams of total carbs a day. I'm in ketosis. I've been in a surplus for a while. I increased my calories but dropped my carbs. I'd probably see a little bit of a weight loss initially because you're going to have some water retention from taking in that many carbs. But there's a lot of variables at play.
I would say just by the sheer definition of calorie surplus means more than you need to maintain or lose weight. So you would be gaining weight.
Yeah, it's going to catch up with you. You might experience an initial drop, but, everything's going to catch up with you. There's no free lunch.
Yeah, guys, be sure to subscribe to Keto Savage's channel, too. He has cool stuff going on. He's developing a product that's called the Keto Brick.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
He's the only natural keto bodybuilder that has, like, a pro card, I think, that exists.
I'm sure there's others. There's got to be
Okay.
others. I don't want to take, like, all the credit here.
And, just check him out on YouTube. Does cream make your weight stall?
No.
It's easy to overeat.
Yeah. People drink like half a cup a day, which is a lot.
Tips to control boredom eating. We were talking about being bored the other day.
Yeah, don't be bored.
Don't be
Get
bored.
stuff going on in
Get
your life.
moving.
But I do actually have one good tip for this. I think boredom eating is generally at night. So what I've been doing lately, and it's been working like a charm for me, is I stop eating at like 6:30 p.m. and then that's kind of just like off the table for me. I'll have a tea. I'll have maybe a keto hot chocolate. We have the white hot chocolate recipe on our
Or like
YouTube
a
channel.
Zevia or something.
Or a Zevia. And I just don't eat food after 6 p.m. That's one way to limit snacking. Because most people snack at night because your willpower is at its peak in the morning and then it's just going down and down throughout the day. So when you're sitting on your couch at 8 p.m., it's easy to want to snack.
A lot of people requesting a rap battle with us right now.
Can you rap?
No. I tried before, but you would win.
We got to work on our 200K subscriber rap. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, we gotta do that. Thoughts on fasted weightlifting?
I think training, like, I feel the best if I fat fast before going to the gym. I've actually been playing around with this a lot. So I've been going to the gym since I've been with them, like around 9, but when I'm home, I've been going like early afternoon. And I like to just do like fatty coffees leading up to the gym and then have a larger meal after training. But I don't like to eat a big meal or even a small meal prior to going to the gym.
Yeah, one tip Robert gave us before we started this is to save your first carb or protein including meal until after you lift, especially if you lift in the morning. Mm-hmm. So then you don't have any like blood in your stomach digesting food. It's more in your muscles to get a pump going in the gym. I lift 6 days a week, always fasted. I've done a lot of fasted lifting too. I kind of like it, but lately I've been doing the fasted lifting. For a long time I did fasting in the morning up until noon and then a fasted lift at noon and then a huge meal right after that. And I saw pretty good progress doing that. C4 pre-workout bad for keto?
Hey, real quick, Kevin Jackson's commenting. Kevin Jackson comments on all my YouTube videos. Shout out to you, man. You've always got something really cool and inspiring to say. Much love, brother. I appreciate everything you do.
What do you think about a carnivore diet and your awesome Robert and KetoConnect?
So carnivore, I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference between carnivore and 10 grams of total carbs. I wouldn't think. Like, you're gonna feel more or less the same way, I would say, and I like it.
Here's what I think about the carnivore diet. I've really thought a lot about this lately. So most people that just switch to a carnivore diet, they feel better because they're removing everything that you could possibly be having adverse reactions to, mostly like plant foods, nuts, things like that. They have like just small things in them that some people have intolerances to. When you take them all out, you feel really good, but there's probably some things you can add back in and feel even a little bit better. So that's kind of the phase I'm in right now, like trying to experiment with what I can add back in and still feel good. But having like a baseline of pretty low carb, like 10 grams, 20 grams of total carbs is a good place to be at, and then experiment from there. What do you think about paleo versus keto? I think paleo has benefits to just being more socially sustainable.
Some people could take it to the next level though, because you can have like honey and stuff, and so like just then you're just eating a ton of sugar, and it's like not the best diet anyway. But there's a lot of people who like treat it just as a great tool as people who treat keto as a tool.
There's no like recommendations from a macro standpoint with paleo so much as they're just like eat whole
just
foods.
like a food list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get kind of nuts when you go crazy with the honey. The three of you together must be the best day of my life. Really?
Aw, thank you.
You guys ever team up with Thomas DeLauer? We've reached out to him. He hasn't gotten back to us, but probably at some point in the future.
Yeah.
He's got
Arkansas versus Georgia weather. Right now, Georgia's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heading to the gym. Oh, a C4 workout. Whoa! $20 from Joanna in support of keto community.
I appreciate it.
Fortunately, we're donating it to Pause, so you're actually supporting the Philadelphia animal community. But thank you. C4 pre-workout, what do you think about that?
We just talked about that.
Oh, we did?
No, I think we were about to, and then I interrupted you. Didn't it have like Ace K and sucralose in it, I want to say?
I'm also not convinced that there isn't a ton of hidden maltodextrin in it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to list the ingredients in supplements, right?
You're supposed to, but a lot of them are
Proprietary blends.
proprietary blends, and those can get kind of tricky.
Morpheus, thank you.
Does rapid weight loss on keto affect cholesterol? It can, right?
Yeah.
Because cholesterol is stored in your fat cells, so when you're like mobilizing a lot of those, you can see a big rise in cholesterol. Is that how it works?
I should not read and listen. When you say cholesterol?
Yeah, cholesterol when you're rapidly losing weight, it can rise a little bit because of...
Yeah, it's pretty typical to see an increase in cholesterol, like LDL, especially when you first start the diet. It's good to just have like a baseline though. Like a lot of people, they'll take, like I had somebody email me yesterday and they had one blood test and their LDL was high and their doctor wanted to put them on a statin right off the bat. And it's like there's no baseline. They don't even know what they were before they started keto. So tracking your number, taking your health into your own hands is, paramount importance.
When was the last time you got off keto?
I haven't gotten off strict keto in over 3 years now, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for us too. I want to say like our carb ups, which was,
last summer?
Maybe like 8 months ago now or something. But I've been really strictly like under 10 total carbs for probably like 4 months now, and I'm feeling better than ever.
Are refeed days necessary?
No.
Yeah,
for most people.
A lot of people are really quick to start a refeed day, and it's going to be different for everybody. And we kind of went into detail with this on the course we're making, but like when I was doing my prep, I didn't even introduce a refeed until I was already below 8% body fat. Like it's a tool to be used to refine the process. So many people are too quick to use a refeed. Oh, I'm hungry, I need a refeed. Oh, I've been on a diet for a month, I need a refeed. It's not necessarily the case.
How do you feel about not eating breakfast, or is it essential on keto? Far from essential.
No, it's not essential ever.
The whole thing with meal timing, I think, is finding something that works really well with you. Meal timing is the biggest variable that can control your calorie intake. Like when you really hit a good meal scheduling for you, that can have a huge impact on things. Like for me, not eating after like 6 or 7 p.m. is huge for just restricting my intake on a daily basis.
When will the course be available only for newbies? No, it's for everyone. If you've already been fat adapted, good.
It's gonna take another 2 or 3 months though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
This course truly is like, I'm proud of it because there's not any one demographic it's good for. Like the principles in the course, I mean, it's customizable too. Like you can adjust it for you as an individual, and it can pretty much go hand in hand with whatever stage you're at.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool concepts basically that bodybuilders we're finding take for granted, but the general public doesn't really know. Just like the continual adaptation. Most people start a diet, they do the 60 minutes of cardio, they cut their calories down to 1,200, and then their weight loss stalls after like a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Swerve Sweeteners? Swerve is just the brand of erythritol.
Have you tried 36-12 fasting? I love it. That's really intrusive to American society, but if you have a lot of weight to lose, I know a lot of people that do it and have success.
The extended fasting?
The alternate day fasting, 36-12. It's pretty extreme. It's a departure from the norm, but if you're thinking back to like how our ancestors probably used to eat, it was similar to that, I would have to imagine.
It is crazy how like so many rules are kind of thrown out the window with keto. Like that one guy, again, this is not a recommendation I'm putting in here, but that one guy fasted for 384 days.
Yeah.
And lost almost 200 pounds, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Don't recommend doing that though.
Oh, is that the guy you said was eating slivers of apples?
No. That was a MTV True Life episode.
That was a really good show.
What are each of your favorite keto meals? I love just like a ribeye steak and maybe some broccoli.
I love barbecue.
I love like burgers or ground beef in anything. When you fast, do you just drink water? I don't really fast, but yeah, a lot of people just drink water when they fast.
Or coffee or tea. We prefer to eat under 1,200 calories per day. You think that's good?
I think that's pretty low. I
prefer.
don't take any of my clients below 1,300 calories really. I mean, 1,200 calories is pushing the limit there.
You prefer to eat under 1,200 calories a day? More food tastes better. Why would you prefer to eat less?
That was a weird statement.
Yeah.
Matt isn't yelling. Most of us from the South are naturally loud. Matt's not from the South though. He's from the Midwest.
Which Mega thinks is like cousins of the South. I guess it kind of is. South and the Midwest are just...
Yeah.
They're really hated on by the coasters,
I mean, we're elitists.
It's the coastal elite.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me what shows Crystal and I watch. Crystal and I don't even have a TV. We're like old school. We're
Don't? That's insane.
We're minimalists.
Is there anything bad in whey protein to look for on keto? There's a couple things actually. I would look for the sweetener it's flavored with. I don't really worry too much. Usually sucralose or stevia is what I prefer. But a lot of proteins do like amino spiking. So they'll put in all of these cheap amino acids that are super glucogenic. So it actually makes them taste incredibly good too, because these glucogenic amino acids actually taste really good. And that will spike your insulin a lot. Like glutamine is a big one that just tastes really good, and you can add it to stuff.
Beta-alanine is more so used in the branch chains, but that can be gluconeogenic as well.
Mm-hmm. And just the general carb count. You can find good protein powders though. There's Isopure, there's Quest, Muscle Feast is one we use. But we don't ever just take it straight to the dome like a 25-gram scoop. We always have it with a fat source.
We should talk about that.
Straight to the dome? Is that a thing?
Protein powder.
Yeah.
What does that
It's
mean?
like a drug
What do you
thing, I
mean?
think.
Straight to the dome?
Or like
No
a
one's
drinking
heard of
thing.
that?
Never heard of that before.
You just take it like straight.
Yeah.
by
Straight to the
itself.
dome.
What carbs do you miss the most?
I don't really like to even think about it all that much, but
It was a question.
cereal,
No.
Yeah, they do miss
So
cereal.
just like, I don't think about carbs.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I did crash some Cinnamon Toast Crunch in my carbs day.
I've eaten like 2 boxes in a sitting.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like 12 years old, I went to my Aunt Deborah's house and just ate an entire box of Fruity Pebbles.
Mm-hmm, those are good too.
Classic
They just get soggy
story
too
right there.
soon.
Just,
Yeah. The boxes
No
were
reason to
smaller
tell.
though. They were substantially smaller than the other cereals.
Best time of day for bulletproof coffee? Anytime really, if you
Well-
can handle the caffeine.
Yeah, it's mostly about the caffeine.
But people like you drink coffee at like 8 p.m., right, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I've had enough coffee that I don't really get a negative. Like, I can fall asleep after drinking a quad shot espresso.
Oh, we do have low carb granola and cereal on our food blog.
I love this comment. This is like ran through my head so many times. I want to be productive today, but I think I'm just going to finish laundry, smoke weed, and play Star Wars on PS4. That's funny. Try being productive for like a solid 90 minutes and then go back to that point.
Well, it's Sunday. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
What's the procedure to be your client? Well, you get an appendectomy. Just kidding. That's not funny, I guess.
An appendectomy.
Like your appendix removed because you asked about a procedure. Someone will laugh.
Oh, do you have a Keto Brick opened?
No, I could eat one right now on camera.
Oh, and on camera. Are these them here?
Yeah.
Yeah, give Robert
but
some
I-
feedback on what you think of the concept of the Keto Brick. Kind of explain it.
Does he want to though? You're like putting him on the spot.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to. If you don't.
So what, like,
Remember-
just talk about it?
Yeah, like the whole concept. See what they think of it.
Alright, yeah, so this is good here. This isn't the final packaging or anything, but I guess I can open it up. It's a shelf-stable 1,000 calorie ketogenic brick, basically. It's a brick because it's a brick. But yeah, it's shelf-stable. It's got 1,000 calories. I think it's 81 or 82 or 85 grams of fat. I don't remember the exact ratio. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's basically just a superfood. There's no allergens. There's no dairy. There's no whey. There's no nuts. There's nothing bad. It's got like a chocolate mocha flavor, I would say. Y'all had the other day. What'd you
Yeah,
do?
open it
It's
up.
good. Just,
Okay. I'm gonna open this thing up. I'm gonna unveil it.
I'm pushing him here.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to talk about it before.
Oh, sorry.
It's hopefully, like, Crystal and I are making these things, so we're hoping to launch it in March, but that's what it looks like. Should I take a bite of it on camera?
Yes.
Take a bite of it on camera? So forceful. I mean, I'm willingly
Okay,
take
yeah.
a bite of it here.
I'm thinking ideally maybe at some point he'll have it where you can like easily break it into 4 pieces or something.
That's what it looks like.
It's cool though. If you follow his channel, he's kind of documenting the process of starting a company like this, starting a product.
Yep. And it's going to be hopefully shipped international. International shipping is crazy high, though. I'm trying to work on getting that down. But working on the website now, hoping to launch in March. You can sign up to get info about it. And speaking of, anybody that signs up is going to kind of get like a soft launch advantage. So that's about all I'm going to say on that one. But it's
Unless Matt forces you to say more.
But yeah, y'all gotta be like, I mean, I'm making these with Crystal in a commercial kitchen space. Like, her and I are the ones making these things, so I don't know how much inventory I'm gonna have, but it's gonna be good. I'm excited about it.
Can you explain how to do maintenance? I've lost 100 pounds but still have 80 more to go. I have no idea how to be in maintenance once I get to my final goal weight. Maintenance is relatively easy. I mean, like, you just have to increase your calories a little bit and try finding a macronutrient ratio that you really like thrive at, you feel good at. And it's not like natural for you to just keep losing weight until you get super skinny. Like, your body kind of, its hunger starts becoming more prominent when you get to a lower body fat percentage. Do you have tips for maintenance?
I mean, I don't try and stay in maintenance. I think maintenance, I mean, I want to always be improving. And, like,
That's a good...
from an off-season perspective, I'm trying to slowly put on quality muscle over time, but it takes a long time to put on quality muscle. So I'm continually trying to improve and build and get better every day, but it's not like it's a difficult thing. Like, it's easy for me to eat these calories. It's not like a challenge. It's like a sustainability approach is much easier when trying to push to grow. I think maintenance is like the wrong outlook, to be perfectly honest.
I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not always trying to like optimize, I guess, in that way.
Some people are just trying to comfortably coast.
Like live, yeah. Not that you're not living.
I like your mail order wife. How much do you want for her?
I mean, she could be talking about you. Someone, oh, yeah.
Any information on the glucose ketone index? I've looked into this a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we have.
We have. Since we've been doing this cut, we're really getting high on the glucose.
Low.
Low
Yeah,
on the glucose.
low.
We were like one. We were a 1, right?
1 is like really optimal nutritional ketosis. The lower your ketones and the higher your glucose, you're going to be higher on the glucose index, whatever it's called, glucose ketone index, and then it's basically saying you're like not in ketosis, which makes sense if you just have the numbers, right? If you know you're not in ketosis.
Why is the coolest person sitting in the back?
Thank you.
Should we call it? It's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Someone's asked 1,000 times for book suggestions from Robert, though, so if you have any.
With regards to just any book in general, the one that I've recommended the most is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I listen to that on Audible on repeat every time I do a contest prep. Like, whenever I'm going through anything hard, I have that on repeat because it's a life-changing book. One of the few books that I would say is actually life-changing.
This is a great...
I like this question.
Oh, which one?
The what will you do?
Yeah. Slimland really thinks like this, which I like. He has a lot of this type of stuff on his YouTube channel.
What will you do if there's a study showing that the keto diet done over the course of 10 years is lethal? Well, my immediate thought is the American diet is lethal, and we've already proven that, but people have not stopped doing it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is very interesting.
I have a comment on this too.
But if we find out it's lethal, in what sense? Like, someone's going to come up to us and shoot us in the head?
No, like, it just leads to early death. Like, there's adverse effects to it. I think the only real answer... I think we already know enough to know that would never come to light at this point, but if there's like something that's been dramatically overlooked, then of course I would change my diet.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've got an interesting take on this, but I'm a bit of an extremist. If somebody said the ketogenic diet is without a doubt cutting off 10 years of my life, and I knew that with absolute certainty, but at the same time I knew and I know how much better I feel and perform with keto, like, I would willingly sacrifice 10 years of my life to have a better quality of life in the years that I am alive.
That's
that
hard
is
to
pretty
believe.
extreme.
I don't believe that.
I swear to you.
But what really is the value of like your years 80 to 90? It's much lower than your.
Well, what if Robert's
prime.
life is only 50 years? Then he's dying at 40. Like, we don't know his actual life expectancy. We can't assume he's gonna die at 90.
I just know that my quality of life right now, like, I'm genuinely happy and I'm very productive. I mentally, physically, emotionally feel better than I ever have before, and it's because I'm strict keto and I have been for 3 years and I don't have any intentions of changing.
I've been on keto since 2003. Not dead.
Oh, Stephanie, keto person?
Yeah,
she's not dead. She's killing it.
All right, guys, we're going to call it. It's
a
been
wrap.
an hour and 15 minutes. We got $86 going to the Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society.
Plus 50% of ours.
So that'll be like $130-ish.
A bicep pose flex at the end. Look at
No.
that. Look at that. I mean, I'm proud of this right here. Look, that is lean right there. That's lean muscle.
I created most of this.
And guys, if you want updates, email updates on the progress of this course, probably going to be like 2 or 3 months until we launch it. In the description of this video, the top link, you can sign up to get on the mailing list. hopefully, I'm thinking it'll be cool if we like send out some, I don't know, some sneak peek like details to that email list. So get on there. Maybe Robert will do like a motivational video at some point too.
Go
Sweet,
Eagles!
Thanks for hanging, guys.